Oh, hello there, everyone. It's just me, Kong. Just getting started here. Just getting set up for a little casual Ancient Beckoning run. Not expecting too much. Possibly not even expecting to beat my current score. Just because I changed my box around. Or I changed my team around for this specific fight. So I'm not 100% sure how well it works, or really what the flow of the fight looks like yet. So just getting set up here real quick. And an important part of that setup, of course, you know what's coming. The pre-stream pour. Getting my fizzy beverage ready. Whoa. This one's super fizzy. Alright. There, that'll be refreshing. Okay, so the plan is, here's what we got on the go. We have Fenrir. I am currently in the top 10 overall on our server. And my Fenrir score is respectable. I'm in 11th. I'm out of the top 10 by only, like, 20,000 points. That's like less than one hit from one character. So it should be possible. Now, I'm not sure how long my score will last if I do get into the top 10, because there's a lot of competition these days, especially coming up with the new God stats out. But if I can get into the top 10, that gets me 10 more rank points. And if I get 10 more rank points with my current score, I'd be at 1280. That would put me in 8th place. So, I guess that's what we'll shoot for. The team that I used last time was Bernhardt, Jugler, Yulia, Bozel, Aryan Rod, and Sage of the Trees. Now, this is kind of a standard 2 AoE cycling team. Sage of the Trees is a very weird pick for this team, but he's kind of the only other character I had built. So my Altamuller's only 4 stars, my Patsir's only 3 stars, Lana, not super well built, so I used him. But now I have Kyra, and typically when you start running Kyra in your box, it's not to do this double AoE strat. It's to do Kyra on the magic damage node, Bernhardt on the fixed damage node, and then Aryan Rod on the AoE node. But since I don't have Patsir built, I'm basically just going to use Kyra as another, basically just another DPS. So I'm not going to be changing up the cycle. I'm still going to use the double AoEs. Why don't I actually go out and look at what kind of crazy team I have built? It's definitely not ideal. I do have Cavalry Jugler, and I have him with Cursed Lance to get an extra debuff when needed. It comes in handy. I have him with 2+2 green just to jack his hit points up as much as I can. Since he's not really going to be contributing much to damage, the more hit points he has, the better healing he'll do. Like I said, since I'm running the 2 AoEs that cycle, I'm going to be using Bozel's 3 2-cost skills rather than his 3C, since he'll need to make sure he always has a skill up every time he comes off the node. What else do we have? I've got Bernhardt built with a full fixed damage set, so he's got fixed damage from his Blood Sword, he's got fixed damage from Arcane Battle Garb, he's got fixed damage from Thor's Necklace, and I actually rolled a pretty good enchant on this with an SR enchant. A lot of this gear I just grabbed from leftover stuff that was sitting in the box and just threw SR enchants at it because I don't want to waste all my money enchanting for a boss that I'm already in 11th place for. So a perfect example of that is my Kyra. Normally I have her built as Holy for PvP, But I just flipped her over to Assassin real quick, because for this fight she wants King's Crown. And you can see I'm running this totally scuffed, like, 2 red plus 2 yellow build. And that's literally just because I had all of these pieces lying around, and I don't want to re-enchant them. So I have a couple meteor pieces that I have kind of sitting in reserve for when I do plan to use Kyra in PvP for her Assassin class. They're not great rolls, but I'm not going to invest a ton re-rolling them just for this. And I also have a Breeze Astaroth and a Breeze Dimensional Jewel for my other characters for other stuff. So she's just getting a weird amalgam of gear. And then, of course, my other AoE unit is Aryan Rod, who, again, is just using other people's gear. Should be good enough. We'll see how far we can make it with this team. And cheers, Ragnar. I don't know if you were around for the part of the chat where I was talking about coming for your score here. We'll see. We'll see if I can make it. I don't need to boost my score by a ton in order to get back up into the top 10 on Fenrir. So I doubt I'll beat Ragnar's score. But Debakius is my target. So I don't have it in my overlay here. I just have Woof instead. But my goal score is 16 million. So if I can hit 16 million, I'll be pretty happy. So let's just hop right in. Just going to quickly make sure my brother knows that I'm streaming. JD is here for the 16 mil. Nice to see it. Yes, the Christian grind. I did some of my God stat grind earlier. Actually, you can probably see it right in here, can you? No, this only shows his stats. Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, so I didn't get too much unlocked today, but 12 attack, I don't know. I don't know how much this is going to help in here. Actually, I suppose it's probably possible to summon him to actually fight in this, isn't it? It's kind of weird. So I've got my Yulia. These are not Yulia's Ancient Beckoning skills. We want faster cooldown, and we want magic defense break. Bernhardt is fine with werewolves. Actually, that's all fine for him. Jugler does not want werewolves. Jugler wants hellhounds for more debuffs. Bozel is looking good. Kyra is looking fine. Aryan Rod. These are not Aryan Rod skills. She wants her 2C AoEs. Yeah, that should just about do it. Alright, let's just get a feel for the cycle and see if we can figure out what exactly we're doing. What exactly are we doing? Well, let's open the proceedings. I don't think I'm gonna need Beast Shock or Godly Menace for debuffs right away, so I'm gonna go ahead and use them right at the start of the fight, just to give myself a little leg up. I'm gonna attack with Burn first before using his faction buff. Next turn can be faction buff turn. And since I'm not using Kyra as part of the cycle, I'm not 100% sure if it would be best to use her last to apply King's Crown to whoever goes and stands on the node, or use her early and apply King's Crown like just before they do their thing. I'll try with her early first. Just to see how it feels. So Regnar, when you say day one grinding for Christiane, are you talking about grinding materials to summon her? Or you got her and you're grinding her up, like building her? Oh yeah, I was gonna faction buff. Okay, now before Bozel gets into the action, let's go drop a King's Crown on him. Straw, what's up? Oh, that wasn't good. I should be able to kill him. Should be able to kill him this turn. So where did I lose out on my damage? I mean, obviously Bernhardt using his faction buff. Oh well. It is the first phase, so we should be able to fairly easily eat this attack. And now we just get to freely wail on him while he's stunned. Oh, I was going to King's Crown her first before she comes down. No crit. You can apparently use Thor in Ancient Beckoning. I haven't had a chance to see him yet, but I can see his energy charging up. He's ready. He wants to come in. T-Minx. Don't worry about being a bother. If I don't see your comment, certainly there will be people in the chat who are building Christiane. Most of the time in PvP, she'll be built as an infantry. Enchant is kind of flexible. I see lots of steel. I see lots of Tree of Life. I see 2+2 blue. Personally, I have a steel set ready for mine just because it's easier to share. And her gear, she likes Oath of Justice. She likes any of the heavy armors that are good for tanks. So like a Mirror Armor or Forbidden Defender's Armor. Same thing with helmet, like Aeneas Helm or Gaia's Helm. And then for the accessory, I like Overlord's Badge. But there are people using Veil just because it has more magic defense as well. So you have some options. Yeah, I don't know how much work the summons themselves are going to do in Ancient Beckoning, but certainly the extra stats that they provide, those will make a difference. So Thor's ready. Do I bring him out? Do I bring Thor out? It doesn't take my turn to summon him, right? Let's just see how it works. What's he even gonna do? I haven't really summoned Thor yet. All I did was fight him. Okay, Thor, what are you in the mood for? So there's no empty spots within one block of the target, so he can't do that damage. I guess if I had done that on Arian's turn, like after she moved, but she's going last. So this is just an AoE. Oh well, it's something. Let's see what happens. Thor will be able to use his other attack this turn because there's an open spot. Ooh. So we're definitely killing Fenrir this turn. We do have to make sure we get the debuffs, though. Oh, look at that! What? Is that this? Is it his talent? Friendly units within 2 blocks. After taking action, each time the unit deals damage, Storm God releases Thunder Blast. Fixed damage. Now, I wonder if Burn was on the, had taken the fixed damage tile before that happened. I wonder if Thor gets the fixed damage bonus, or if this counts as Thor's damage and not Bernhardt's. Sounds like it counts as Thor's. Well, having lots of buffs is going to be good for him because he's going to be going to that tile and doing some damage here soon. Let's just do it now. How much damage can you do, Thor? That's respectable. It's something. It's better than nothing. I think Bloodline Magic Armor would be just fine. It's a good tank armor T-Minx. Okay, so Thor's not in my way anymore. I don't have a debuff yet. So I might be rewinding this turn anyway. Let's see if the Anglia Hammer can do what we need. Does a lot of damage. Okay, yeah, it lit up my tiles. Good, good, good. Normally, I would just come up here and attack this wolf, but I'm actually going to be leaving all the wolves alive on this side because they'll come in, they'll run in, and they'll attack... or they'll do their little area attack, and it will hit Kyra, letting her cure herself and the rest of the team up. Actually, next time I have a chance, I'm going to swap Jugler and Aryan Rod for the same reason. Yeah, the Bernhardt with fixed damage doing all those different instances of damage, causing Thor to basically, like, try to keep up with him. 8 stacks of little thunderbolts. Pretty hilarious. I mean, it didn't end up being a ton of damage, but it was something. I hate to go last with Jugler, but this is going to be the turn where she vacates her spot. I guess I can do it next turn when she's coming back in. So, yeah, we'll keep to the normal pattern with Jugler for now. I'm not going to top up my faction buff until I get him below half. I like to use the faction buff on the turn right before I switch phases. And because my first phase too, it kind of threw me off a little bit. Yeah, I think you guys are right. Once he's level 70 and not like level 15, that will make a much bigger difference. Good old Thor. But how often will I get to use him? I wonder... I didn't look at his license board fully to see if there are skills or tiles in there that make his energy come back faster. I have to imagine there's a way to get his energy back faster. Okay, Jugler, you're coming back down here where you belong. Oh, good. How many times can you use Thor in the run of an AB boss? It would be funny to have him up every couple turns. Okay, this is faction buff turn. Getting that sweet M-Def break. For Kyra. Bozel's not going to be using it this turn. No crit. Not a great run for RNG. So yeah, Kyra and Jug doing double duty, filling us up after those little wimpy wolf hits. Very nice. And we are on even phase again, so this is where we need to pay attention to our debuffs. Not going to use Godly Menace. Okay, I got M-Def break. I'm just assuming that Bozel's going to put in the rest of the work. Oh, don't forget. King's Crown first. King's Crown first. Then Quake. Yeah, Mr. Dragoon, I'm not sure about that one Thor per run. I am slowly ticking away at his energy gauge, so once that gets back up to 60, I can summon him again. Kind of slow right now, just because I don't have any of his bonus nodes unlocked, but it is only turn 9. For this run, I may indeed die before he comes back. Alright, we got Cursed Lance. Nice extra little work there for debuffs, so we don't have to think about that. I'm going to use Godly Menace anyway. Just for damage. It should be back by the time I really need it. I mean, she's not getting crits, but she's putting in good damage. I would be happy if I could prove you wrong on this run too, just because it would mean getting another Thor blitz out. I want to see what happens if I have Thor up while Bernhard is taking the fixed room. Okay, we're on an odd phase, so this is one of the easier phases. Yulia gonna try to get an M-Def break for Bozel. No luck. Poor old Bozel's just gonna have to do normal Bozel damage. So as you can see, Kyra has literally just been popping an attack off and then teleporting back to whoever's on the rune. So she's not part of the rotation, she's just a little bit of a support, a little bit of extra chip damage. Bozel getting a nice crit there, though. So we're shooting for 16 mil. One of the nice things about the real endgame team for this is having Ultimuller in your team, because he also benefits from Bernhardt's buff. So it doesn't feel like you're just using, like, wasting a turn every once in a while for Bernhardt to buff himself. So of course we get the M-Def break on a turn that Bozel can't use it. Oh, Kyra putting in over 100,000 damage there. Still no crits for Arian yet. Okay, Beast Shock is not back yet, but I don't think I'll need it till next turn. Oh, almost forgot. Keep almost forgetting her. Okay, Bozel, it's on you. We need to see some debuffs. Ooh, Bozel fails me. Interesting, interesting. Looks like my hubris the previous turn about frivolously using Beast Shock is what cost me. Wonder if I can RNG my way out of this or if I have to go all the way back and get Beast Shock back. Soda tacked on an extra 1.6 mil. That's awesome. Soda, my goal on this one, honestly, is to tack on an extra 20,000. If I get an extra 20,000, that'll be enough to rank me up, potentially. Alright, I was able to RNG rejig those debuffs. So what's your score now then, Soda? Oh, Team Inks. The best way to progress in content is literally just to dive in and try it. And if you find that you're not strong enough, then you know you just need to go back and grind for a little bit. But it's always important to take the temperature every once in a while and jump into a map that you've been working on and see how it goes. Because that's what helps you figure out what little tweaks you need to make. Oh, Soda. You're like 7 million ahead of me. That must be the Patzer factor. No, I'm keeping my goals humble. I'm shooting for 20 to 30,000. If I get that, I'll be happy. Patzer is definitely the missing piece of the puzzle for me, because, as you can see, I'm still struggling with wrestling with debuffs every once in a while. It's just nice to have a character that, as long as you deploy her, you don't need to worry about that. So I am at the phase where I have to stop using Beast Shock and Godly Menace frivolously, and save them for those turns. But I don't have to do that right now, because we're on an odd phase. Alright, Thor's back up to 40 out of 60. He's raring to get back into this. Bozel with the big double buffed Earthquake. No one is getting any crits. Except for Fenrir. 45, okay. Yeah, Thor. Thor doesn't recharge too slowly. do get M-Def Break. Again, only for Kyra. But she stuns the dog before Arian Rod's AoE, so Arian Rod gets a little bit of bonus stun damage. Not looking so hot anymore. Well, yeah, Dragoon, I'd like to see that too. Unfortunately, no amount of grinding will show us that quite yet. Only waiting a couple months or watching Chinese streams, I guess. Alright, we're on an even phase again, so it's time to get the old Godly Menace out if needed. Might as well. Not you, you first. Okay, Bozel, it's up to you. Give us debuffs. Good man, or thing. Demon. Turn 17. Phase 8. I don't really have my previous run benchmarked, so I don't know how fast or slow I'm going, comparatively. It feels better. I feel like with Sage of the Trees I was just kind of like struggling to hang on for a lot of the time. There's a crit from Arian Rod, finally! Critical hits still do pretty nice damage. Alright, some bonus healing from my two little reactionary AoE healers there. Nothing to worry about at all. The Dobermans always get feisty whenever I fight Fenrir. Must be something canine related. Thor is almost ready. He's almost ready. Oh, we got the M-Def break for Bozel for a change. Thor, I can see you over there blinking at me. Alright, he's ready. It's Thor time! I don't want to do him now because Bernhardt's wasting this turn. To faction buff. And I want to get all those sweet, sweet Bernhardt lightning bolts again. That was too hilarious. Alright, next phase. So, is this the turn? Because she'll be leaving. Yeah, I think I do it this turn, and he does his little AoE move. And then next turn, before she comes back, he'll do his normal hit, and he'll disappear to open up a spot for her. Here he comes. The man. The legend. Alright, we got Beast Shock. We got Burn Shock. Let's see some fixed damage hits. Oh yeah. Oh, that was disappointing because a couple of them hit the Side Wolf. He only got 6 stacks there too. That's interesting. All right. Oh, Thor ate up one of Kyra's heals there. All right, before we say our fond goodbyes to Thor, we'll see if we can get another Bernhard burst in. Oh, with the Overlord damage. Oh, that's good. All right, let's get him his one big hit in before he has to leave. Nice, 70,000. Okay, Aryan Rod's back. Gets us our last debuff that we need to open these nodes, and then we send Bozel to heal us up. We're looking good. We're almost at 10 million. Turn 22? I should almost get Thor back again. Yeah, I mean, it's amusing. It's definitely more amusing, but any damage in Ancient Beckoning is useful for free. Like, he doesn't waste a turn. He doesn't get in my way. Like, that's the reason people put Arcane Battle Garb on people, just because, like, an extra 2,000 damage is something. It goes on the scoreboard, so... I think I got, like, 12, 13 little spikes out of him, which is about 25,000 damage plus his last hit, so that was almost 100,000 damage just from Thor, just on that one burst. So, when you think about it, if you get that 3 times throughout the battle... And my goal in this run was just to beat my previous score by 20 to 30,000. He's making a big difference. Yeah, Soda, the only problem with it in terms of keeping the 2-turn cycle going is that your Thor's uptime is very sporadic. So you'd only really get it, like, if you get it on the exact 2 turns that you need it right at the end of your 2-turn cycle. Otherwise, like, the first time I summoned him was irrelevant for my 2-turn cycle. But it's something. It's something. We definitely can't deny that. I, for one, am all for amusing mechanics in this game. Decent damage there, a little healing for Jugler. Got my King's Crown buff on Arian Rod, and this should finish the wolf. Started to see a couple more crits from her, so that's nice. Okay, turn 24, even phase again. Bringing up the Godly Menace. No MDef break, though. Gonna be counting on Bozel to do some debuff work. I would love to not have to worry about that. I'm gonna start using my 18 Gates of Fate weeks to start raising Patzer to a level that I can use her in this. Soda, what would you say is a usable star rank for Patzer for Fenrir? Yeah, Renata is good. I think she, of the characters who get used for this, she's more interchangeable for Ultimuller. Alright, narrowly dodged another annoying even phase debuff round. 5-star, well. I have a little bit of grinding ahead of me then. 2 18 Gates of Fate weeks is not going to do that. Okay, Bozel. Still putting in good work. We're about 2/3 of the way there. Yeah, John, it's not inconceivable that there will be a rerun for Arian Rod and Reen at some point. The fact that there's already been a rerun for Trails in the Sky, I think the license holders and the devs have a pretty decent relationship. So obviously, if we're going roughly in order, obviously Yu Yu Hakusho is a bit of an exception, but we've got Record of Lodos War coming up next in March. And then after that, we should find out if Cold Steel is on the horizon. Kyra is starting to get in the danger zone with her own attacks there. I'm going to have to watch out for that. I do like that Kyra's AoE heals herself as well. Poor Juglar ignores himself. Not going first with Juglar on this turn because I don't want his Beast Shock to wear off. I need those debuffs. Oh, he got the Curse Lance debuff anyway, so it would have been fine. Probably cost me a bit of damage in the end. Alright, turn 30. This has been pretty casual so far. We're starting to maybe get to the point where I'm going to have to think about changing the cycle up a little bit. Okay, Bernhardt's going to be buffing this turn, so we might need to rely on a big Aryan Rod hit to finish him off here. Jugler barely doing any damage, but he's not really here for damage. Now, as I mentioned a couple streams ago, I'm keeping my task manager open while I do these streams because there were a few streams right after my Windows update that I crashed like an hour to an hour and a half in. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I tried to tweak a couple things with my OBS. And the last few streams, like my last Ancient Beckoning stream and my last Apex stream, I didn't have any problems. But I'm starting to see some things here now. It'll be very interesting. We're coming up on the 1 hour mark of this stream, so it'll be very interesting to see if anything goes haywire. If I disappear and go offline, you know what happened to me. Okay, Aryan Rod needs to break 220. Not happening. So I'll try to eat this physical AoE, I guess. And if it doesn't work, I'll consider going back. That's some damage. Yeah, Rope, I don't think it was the CPU. I think it was, I don't think it was memory. I think it was the CPU or maybe the GPU. I don't know if it was overheating or what. And Soda, I don't know about flashing. I would think that would have to be a Twitch thing if it's not happening on YouTube and it is happening on Twitch. Because it wouldn't make sense for that to be my output, if that's the case. Okay, so we barely survived. But that's going to throw off my timing, too, for my skills. So, like, Aryan Rod's debuffing skill is not going to be up. Wonder if this is the time for me to go back and have Bernhardt start taking the fixed node. I'll try it just to see what that looks like, what that feels like. He has defaction buff this turn anyway. So that means we'll get her AoE. Well, Bozel doesn't have an AoE, so we're still just going to be relying on an attack from him. It's not enough. Don't like all that. It's a lot of damage. This should hopefully reset things. She's going back for the node. Alright, let's see how this cycle feels now that we've got kind of resettled. I definitely know how you feel, Dennis. And part of the reason you're feeling overwhelmed is part of the same reason why I find personally tier lists aren't very helpful, because there are so many characters and so many different considerations and contexts, right? Like, there's so many different things that the different characters are good at in different modes. To be honest, in most PvP, or PvE rather, you can make any character work as long as you have a balanced team that works well together and you have the necessary elements. Like if you have a good tank, a good faction buff, if everyone's kind of on faction with each other. Thor's almost back in action. Optimum Pride, is there any benefit to clearing this? Well, the S tier rewards aren't the only rewards. There's also, when you go back and look at the beginning of this VOD, there's like an overall leaderboards as well, and the higher you are up the leaderboards, like the higher your rank is on the sum of all the different fights, you get more rewards at the end of each cycle as well. Yeah, John, I think it would be a sure hit, but my qualm with it is that I don't know if it would be as valuable as people think it would be. Like, I want my videos to be popular, obviously, but I also want them to be accurate and helpful, and not just kind of pandering. So her damage was terrible there because we didn't have the double AoE overlap. Moving on to the burn fixed damage cycle might not have been... Might have jumped the gun a little bit. Might not have been the right time. But we're probably going to be eating Jaws again, so... Yeah, not really sure what to do once we drop the two-turn cycle. Not really sure what the adjustment is for that. Nice big ruptures. Kyra is not going to be able to do that for much longer. Huh, I wonder if I can get away with getting an act again off her. Because I would love for this boss to be dead. Like, I wonder if he'll do enough damage to get me my act again. Yes. It didn't kill him, though. Can I summon Thor in? Give me Thor! No. I guess, yeah, no. It was close. It was close. That bite wasn't as bad. I kind of don't want to summon Thor on this turn because Bernhardt's going to be moving off. I might stick with the AoE cycle for a few more turns, to be honest. In which case we'll faction buff. Yeah, the reason... I mean, Omega is good for PvE, for certain PvE things, but not everything. He's good at eliminating normal units, just because of the way his skills are set up. And he doesn't really need a faction for that. He's more of a lone wolf thing, like... He can just kill normal units instantly. He's not as great for bosses, like stuff like this. So you'll see lots of Omegas in, like, joint battles and stuff like that. I just need to get to 16 million. Maybe that's the flashing that Soda was seeing. The Thor flashing. Yeah, that's the thing, John. I agree that no matter how many in-depth guides on all the different characters you watch, the most valuable thing for a newer player is just to have like a coherent, small core team that they work through as much of the content as they can. And that lets you get a feel for the mechanics and like what elements of team building are important. Like, I think Freekong demonstrates fairly well that you can get through PvE with pretty much any units. As long as you kind of know what they do, like I'm using freebies units and just putting them in teams that make sense. Yeah, Optimum. Thor is like a pact. You make a pact with the gods, for example, Thor. And he gives you passive bonuses to your stats, and you can also briefly summon him in PvE battles like this to help out. He's a very helpful gentleman. So is this the third Thor of this battle? I think I've gotten him 3 times so far. Ooh. That's more like it, Thor. That's what I like to see. Oh, Yulia's not going to be able to survive attacking much longer either. Don't like that. We're starting to get into trouble, my friends. Oh, even Thor didn't get to disappear. He just died. Is her act again back up? I should be taking advantage of that now. Well, we're gonna get chomped again. We are definitely deep into chomp territory now. Not healthy. Kyra took the crit and survived fairly well, though, so we might have a couple more turns of that left. I definitely need him dead, though. Like, I don't like Jugler. I don't like Jugler's chances here. Oh, no. 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 Ooh, that was the last time we can do that, not being at 100. So she didn't have the benefit of her last rites, because she was at 98% when she did that.
私が皆さんを守ります。剣はどこを指していますか？
Alright, Bozel should be able to finish this. Then the rest of us can kind of safely lumber around. Alright, turn 39. She gets her act again basically every time she comes in. That's pretty sweet. I think I will start cycling Burn out now, knowing that I can do that with her. But he's useless this turn. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. Oh, the other thing about using her act again is you can kind of waste Kyra's King's Crown buff. Because you want the King's Crown buff to be on the AoE, since she has the buffed AoE from standing on this node. So we want to AoE this turn, use the act again next turn. I don't even have debuffs up. Oh, what did I miss? Probably from Burn faction buffing, I guess? Alright, well, if I have to use Bozel to get a debuff, I might as well go to the node with Burn. Hang in there, Bozel. Oh, Bozel didn't even get the debuffs off. You run Lidden, Elwyn, Cherie, Leon, Tiaris, Matthew. That's a good solid team, you know. I would say Bozel is a really good unit to add, just in general, to pretty much any team, because he does have a faction buff for himself if he needs it. He has AoE, but most importantly, he has big, splashy debuffs. I think Bozel's banner is still up now. The Bozel banner with Liana and Luna. So adding Bozel would be good. But you have Lidden and Tiaris. That's an OP tank and healer combo. Elwyn, Cherie, and Leon are all super strong DPS. You probably don't really need to use Matthew with that team. So I'd say Bozel would be a good addition. I need to figure out what I'm doing this turn. I don't know why I'm missing debuffs. I guess I'm going to have to use Yulia's Godly Menace is what I'm going to have to do. Oh, we are on an even phase. That's why. I should have been using Godly Menace anyway. Okay. I just lost track of what phase I was on.
全力でかかってきなさい。我はハブ。すべてを断ち切るも。さっさと消えろ。不敬な。
I'm sure the chat will have some other helpful recommendations for you too, Dewey Dennis, about other potential units to add to your team. You have a lot of options. She's not strictly an AoE unit, but Light of Genesis, the Tensei Tiny Jessica, would be a good addition to that team because she is Glory and she has lots of utility, so long-range magical DPS and teleports. She's a great character overall. I would recommend her to anyone, even if they aren't running Glory. She can go back and grab the node. So we can King's Crown Bozel. He doesn't have double AoE buff though. He just has one AoE buff and the King's Crown. Ragnar, I have done the first 3 Gates of Fate. I make a schedule and stick to it very religiously. So I didn't need to do all 5 of her gates today. I'm doing 3 today. I'll do 3 more tomorrow. I've heard people on main chord saying they're annoying. Where was I? I have Bozel. Now she should be able to hit this and then run back. Please don't kill Kyra. Alright, we're all alive. That's the only thing that matters right now. Well, it sounds like I'm in for a treat tomorrow. For the 4th and 5th gates. Hang in there, everyone. Hang in there. She's not at 100%, so she can't attack first. Because she will get killed. Let's get some nice big ruptures in. Well, sorry I wasn't able to King's Crown you, Aryan Rod, but I needed Fenrir to be dead, more importantly. Ah, brutal. Brutal for the debuffs again. I think I'm going to have to make a very unconventional Kyra run to the other rune. just to keep the run alive. Very unconventional changing of tactics here. Suzette's Gate of Fate. Now that is something I'm not going to be running for a long time, Mr. Dragoon. I did summon her, but I am not planning on building her anytime soon. Okay, what can we do here? We are very close to our goal. We're very close. Very close to 16 million. Very close. Once I get 16 million, I can just kind of dick around a little bit. I don't think we'll be seeing Thor making a comeback. Bozel can run for the node, and she'll double attack, so she can get King's Crowned. Hey, there's 16. We did it. 17 mil right around the corner. Soda. You know how to encourage a Kong. The wheels are starting to come off, though. We're eating a big chomp every cycle now. We're not healthy. Yes, going for the Florentia skin cost many people dearly. Those lotto skins are definitely a big trap. Okay, okay. Yeah, let's be real, Dragoon. The wheels have been... A couple of the wheels have been off for a few turns now. This is as good a time as any to faction buff. Bozel's not even coming off this node with an AoE. This is ridiculous. Okay, so Bozel can't do anything. He can't do that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We got another turn in us yet, my friends. Alright, we're all still alive. We may not all have all of our limbs, but we're all still here. This is rough, because I don't really know how to attack into him now. We're so hurt. We're all too hurt to attack into him. Burn's gonna die here, isn't he? She'll die. She doesn't have last rites up, so she'll die. Like, she can AoE. Will she die? No. Okay, that's fine. That's more damage. I honestly think for these two, I might have to grab the node first. Because then she can heal herself with her 3C. Hopefully, mostly. Some. And Yulia can heal herself with her talent, mostly. But this isn't a giant AoE, so even if we're a little bit hurt, we can survive this turn. Oh, the wolf took Bernhardt's spot. The disrespect. The disrespect. He still has some AoE bonus damage. Oh, poor Yulia is not going to last much longer. Okay, that opens up a spot for Burn to come back in. Get some fixed spikes. Yeah, Desu, the changing of the gear took me like a whole day yesterday. I was thinking about doing it yesterday, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to spend all day changing gear, changing classes. So I just did everything, and then just got into it. Oh, I don't think I'll get another Thor in. That's a few turns away, and I'm kind of just scraping it out now. What I'm trying to decide now is whether I want Arian Rod to grab this, or Kyra to grab this one. Proposal has no buff.
言い訳無用です。
She won't have a buff after this turn, so I think Arian Rod grabs it.
覚悟の方はよろしいですか？
But I think she does it first,
全力でかかってきなさい。
and then I can King's Crown her in advance.
覚悟の方はよろしいですか？
Okay, if I die soon, that'll actually be perfect timing, because I have to get to the gym soon. Alright, let's just treat this like a normal, even phase cycle. So we've got Beast Shock up. We'll see who dies and when. Get a little King's Crown buff on Yulia. Barely survives. That was from full, too. Yeah, this run doesn't have much left.
全力でかかってきなさい。耐えてみなさい。
何をしてるのか分かっている。
Okay, so time for a big chomp turn here. Bernhardt having to put his faction buff up is not going to be helpful. How are we doing for debuffs? That'll be coming off when Jugler takes his turn. Let's see if I can get lucky. That wasn't lucky.
はあ？絶望せよ。
I need lucky debuffs. Basically need one debuff. Okay,
行くぞ。
that's that then.
全力でかかってきなさい。
覚悟の方はよろしいですか？
She will King's Crown Arian.
行くぞ。
言い訳無用です。
Dennis, if you mean the Anarchy, the training fields, I'd say pick a couple soldier types that you use a lot. Like if there's any soldiers that you use on multiple units, some important soldiers, and try to get those to level 10 as soon as you can. And then other than that, there's you're going to want to get all of your attack and defense and hit points and stuff up to like 40% in the training fields, because those are the cheapest upgrades. They only take R and SR mats.
言い訳無用です。
And then from there you'll prioritize based on the soldier types that you use and which ones need attack versus which ones need hit points. But I'd say pick a couple soldiers that you use a lot and focus on those first. Okay, so we took a couple critical hits there. We are severely injured to the point that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do much damage to this guy.
全力でかかってきなさい。
We'll get the AoEs off first, I guess.
すべてを断ち切る。
何をしてるのか分かっているのか。
覚悟の方はよろしいです。
私が見
Oh know, even that's not super helpful. So he can't put Hegemony on because his faction buff is not up. If Jugler attacks, he'll die.
私が皆さんを守ります。
覚悟の方はよろしいですか？
She'll probably die if she attacks. Unless she attacks a wolf, just to heal someone. Like, I wonder if that's enough to make Yulia survive. Because if Yulia can use Godly Menace and live... Come on. Oh, nice. Okay. So that's something. Still don't have the buffs. Or the debuffs. Huh. Well, Jugler will die. Bernhardt isn't going to get a debuff off if he does that.
何をしてるのか分かっているのか
And Bozel will die.
行くぞ
He has to battle to get that debuff and this one. We might be in trouble. Oh, Jugler lives. But still... Oh! Cursed Lance! Yes, Cursed Lance saves us. Alright. Oh, but he's not buffed, so he can't reach the node! Bozel can. Bozel can. Bozel can. Okay, okay. Whew. This is brutal. This is why it's a casual run, my friends, because this is sloppy AF, but very fun. So we're back for another turn. We only did 10% damage to him there. But that's because we were recovering from that big chomp so hard. We may get Thor back in action, you know? We may get him back. Don't worry, Dennis, ever don't worry about asking questions in the chat here. This is equal parts entertainment and education,
言い訳無用です。
if that's what you want. Her act again is back, so she could spike him before running up to the node, which is good. We like that. Start with Jugler. Lay down a nice solid foundation of debuffs. Arian Rod is hidden behind Fenrir's mane.
全力でかかってきなさい。
Kyutaru, you made it for the end of the sloppy run. Thought you weren't going to make it. I did start streaming early, partially in hopes that you'd be able to see some of it.
剣はどこを指していますか。
何をしてるのか分か
覚悟の方は
剣はどこを指していますか。
Oh, Yulia, no! That's the last time I can do that. Yulia has no revives left.
分かって
無駄な抵抗はしないことです。
何をしてるのか分かっているのか
Oh, I'm sure the gym will still be there. I'd love to finish him here. Good.
言い訳無用です。
Good, good, good. Oh, but that means I can't use my act again, because he won't counter me. So I'll just have to go up here. That was close to being a waste of a clock. Well, Kyutaru, watching the end of this casual mode run will be similar to being asleep, in the sense that it's like having a nightmare. Alright, we're back. We're back on phase 21. Round 50. And we do have a Thor coming up soon. Kyura's damage varied. I think it was between like 45,000 to like 90,000. And there was one hit with her 3C when the dog was stunned that she got over 100. But that was not a normal occurrence. Alright. That's Kyra never taking the magic damage node, by the way. Probably pretty self-explanatory. We are one fixed damage spike away from Thor coming to play.
何をしてるのか
言い訳無用です。私が皆さんを守ります。
Okay, Yulia can survive.
何をしてるのか
Thor can come out. I wonder if this is the time for Thor. We kind of want him to be around when Bernhardt is available to do his thing. So I'm gonna keep Thor in reserve for now.
覚悟の方はよろしい
We'll see. Kyra should be able to survive this because of last rites. She took a crit though.
言い訳無用です。
See, this is one of those tricky situations where I hate to waste my King's Crown buff on a non-AoE, so we won't use the double act quite yet.
何をしてるのか分かっているのか
The good news is I'm well clear of 16 million now. So this is all gravy. These are all gravy points. All right, let's get Thor in here. What do you have, Bozil? Oh, Bozil actually has a double buff for a change. Let's see if we can heal the rest of the team up a little bit. That should hopefully be enough for Jugler. Should be enough for Bernhardt. Alright, Thor, rain down your lightning. Oh no, he didn't use his thing. Should have done that. Next turn, there's always next turn. Okay, Yulia. Still hanging on. As long as you're 100%, you're still hanging on.
何をしてるのか分かっているのか
Bozil, one final double AoE buff.
計画通り
言い訳無用です。
We're about to get chomped. Let's use my double action to get to the node.
全力でかかって。
We are alive, technically. Okay, okay, who can actually do something? Bozil's not alive. That's okay. Someone had to go. Kyra, yeah. She doesn't have redemption, unfortunately, so she can't cure the rest of the team. So 3C'ing the wolf will really only heal herself.
言い訳無用です
Mm-hmm.
無駄な抵抗はしないことです
It's after she lands. Okay, so she is going to have to go over here. Or here. Yeah, here. So she won't King's Crown anyone, but that'll let her hit everyone if it's within 3 tiles. Good enough. Good enough to get some Yulia action. Nope.
言い訳無用です
Well, good enough for some Aryan action.
我は鋼全てを断ち切る
Bernhardt's last stand. Get some Thor rage going here before we go down. It would be pretty funny if he could run to one of these, but he's going to disappear when he finishes his move. So, I believe we go say goodnight to Thor. Oh, Jugler! You sneaky dog! Alright. Any points here that I get, any damage that I do at this point, it's all gravy. We're in gravy damage land. Even if I do 40 damage, it's gravy. But I don't really have a good way to get more debuffs on this guy. I don't want to use Beast Shock. So, who's going to take the node this time? She can act again, so she could hit him from here and then run to the node. That'll give Burn a chance to 3C.
Hmm.
全力でかかってきなさい
I want to go with her next. Barely hanging in there, Kyra. Alright, we got Aryan with it. That's what we wanted. We'll get our double action. Okay, so we should be able to survive this. Thank you, helpful little healer dog. Working on another Thor. Yeah, we're making progress. We're making progress towards another Thor. Alright, I should be able to kill him. Saving Beast Shock for next turn. Mm-mm-mm. Burn couldn't reach the rune on that turn because his faction buff was down already. Uh-oh. That is not a Kyra survivable time. Alright, we'll have to go on Small Dog. Well, I don't need to use a skill on Small Dog to teleport. Well, we got 18 million. I'm afraid this is going to be where we end the run, though. Because I'm not getting through the second skill on an even phase with the team that I have left right now. Can she still not survive this at 100%? She's good. She's good. I am going to grab the fixed rune with Burn now. Her act again comes back so fast. Alright, I don't know if the chat can hear this over the sound of the game, but that helicopter's back. If you can hear an ambient rumbling in my mic. That is the creepy helicopter that's spying on me every time I record or stream. I frankly can't believe we got to 18 million with this. I mean, I guess in retrospect, it's not surprising that I would beat the score that I set with Sage of the Trees, of all people. Okay, so this is the turn that I'm going to die. I'm going to die here. So, my only goal really is to do as much damage as possible. She can't do anything this turn, so ideally she would grab the rune if we do get a rune. But that means I feel like I should King's Crown Burn. But if I go over there, it's not going to heal these guys. But even if it does heal them, I don't think that's enough to survive. So I'm just going to focus on as much damage as possible. King's Crown Burn. Get one last burn attack off. We did get the rune. Who will survive? Everyone. Jugler, heal us. Okay, that's not an awful result. Those wolves were pretty helpful. And this isn't a super dangerous move. But we are really just grinding out, like, look at that, 38 damage. We're just grinding out little piddly bits of damage. We do have access to another rune now. So it makes sense for Kyra to take it. Although I want Burn to get his faction buff back. Maybe she just King's Crowns Arian, and then Burn runs up here to get his faction buff refreshed. That might not be a bad idea. Oh, except for that. Yeah, I have to stop attacking the main dog. I have to get that into my head. Start attacking small dogs if I want to do this kind of stuff. I'm glad the Dobermans can't hear me talking about attacking small dogs and all this stuff. That would be very, very deeply upsetting. Alright, we're still in it somehow. We're not making tons of headway anymore, but every point that we put on the board is a point that we put on the board. To approach old Johnny's score. Actually, I think I've beaten Johnny on this one. Whew, okay. Back to square one. He's not even at half yet. S is the highest tier. After you get to S tier, it's really just all about score. So we'll see. Once I die out of this, I'll go and look at the scoreboard again, and we'll see kind of what the spread looks like. I'm going to King's Crown Burn. And Aryan Rod will run back to her node. Yeah, I definitely won't be cracking 19.6 million, so all I'm really doing is buffering my 7th place position. Thank you for checking, though, Q. I was pretty curious about that. Oh, even Bernhard is starting to take a real beating on the initiation now. And we actually did not get a node open. Okay, I'll have to go back and... Yeah, this is my last rewind. So what I can do is hope for... hope for her AoE skill to give me the debuff I need. And then she can take the node. Since she wasn't really doing anything super helpful anyway. Okay. Anglia Hammer, give me a debuff. No dice. Alright, this is it then. This is it. It'd be sweet if she could debuff him and then teleport to the node, but I'm just going to try to splash as much damage as I can. No rewinds left, no debuffs. Ooh. 22 damage from Noble Jugler before he goes down. Almost 7,000 from her. And here we go, Bernhardt's last stand. Doesn't even get any of those fixed procs. So 18.5 million is what we ended up with. We went from 15.9. So we put up 2.5 million. We beat the score that I was shooting for anyway, so let's take a look at the leaderboards and see what that did for us. So on Fenrir, I went from here in 12th. My goal was to pass Debakius, but I managed to beat Ragnar and Viren and Wing Kuribo. I remember when that score got logged. So up into 7th place, fairly respectable. Now, ultimately that doesn't really matter since what I wanted was this 260. It was an extra 10 rank points over what I had. So even if I was in 10th or 7th or even 5th, that's all worth 260. But the extra points will help tiebreakers in the total rankings. So in the total rankings, I was in 10th. But that extra 10 rank points that I put on brought me up into contention with Ragnar. And since I have more overall points than Ragnar, it puts me in 7th place on the overall Rhaegar, Dalsis, and Rocky Valley leaderboards, which was my goal going into this, so I'm very happy with that. The rest of my bosses, so I just reran Needhog in this last cycle. And I'm very slowly building Chris. I'm not in a big rush to build her. Christiane, that is. So I don't see this score improving anytime soon. Fenrir we just did. Sleipnir I actually haven't rerun with Lucretia yet. So I'm very tempted to try Sleipnir on this cycle with Lucretia and with Thor. Obviously, Thor will be there helping us out. In order to get more overall rank, I would have to get 3 million more points to get up into 4th place. I don't know if that is in the cards or not with my team. So what are the differences? Hilda was my tank. She's 5-star, she's 4-star. Byrne is the same. Jess is the same. And then I guess I would put Lucretia in for Leon. So that might end up being a bit of a wash, to be honest. I don't know if that change will make a huge, huge difference. Maybe it will. Lucretia's really good. But I don't have my Patzer built to bring in to tank this fight. My Ultimuller's not built. So some of the really good options aren't really in the cards for me. So maybe that one will wait for another time. I will try. I'll probably do another casual mode run of this one just to use Lucretia and just see what it looks like, but not really have any expectations about the score. Jormungandr is one that it looks like I will have to run again. Oh, I remember this. I was trying to get Johnny's score, but this one I actually just couldn't reach him, but that's only 500,000 away from me. So these scores are all really tight, right? It's only 500,000 between where I currently am and 8th place. So what did I run for this? I was using Joshua. Kiri's good. Deedlet's good. These are all good. I could probably change someone in for Joshua, like Cherie maybe. Cherie would be like a pseudo Brenda for me. So I will definitely try Jormungandr when it comes around again. I don't know if I can beat Johnny's score, but I'm going to try to. I don't think this is facepalm. I think it's just like not... There's room for improvement. Hugin and Munin was always my worst score, traditionally, and it's still not great. But I don't think... Well, I mean, I guess SP Narm is next week, so theoretically, for the next run of Hugin and Munin, I will have some advancement in my team. But I also hate it a lot, so I don't know. Then again, Chung is there, again, like 500,000 points ahead of me, so that's probably going to be something that I have to shoot for. So yeah, there's still room to grow. At least in terms of score, if not in terms of rank. So those are kind of my next Ancient Beckoning goals. That's it. Now I have to go, like Desu said, I have to go back and spend a couple hours re-equipping and reclassing and reskilling all my characters to make sure I don't make any hideous mistakes in Apex Arena this weekend. Or rather, no more hideous mistakes than I normally would. Yep. Alright, I have to go to make myself very tired at the gym now. I may be back later to play some Final Fantasy. I'm not 100% sure yet. But thank you for watching. Thanks for chilling with me during another Ancient Beckoning beatdown. And yeah, hopefully you're all enjoying the new content. And hopefully your summons went well and you're enjoying some sweet Thor action. So go have fun. Happy Langrissing, everyone.